Hi, I'm Michael Canerney, a Senior Controls Technician here at DCT. Today I'm going to be showing you how to conduct a high-powered circuit test. Now before we get started, we want to make sure that this test is always performed by a qualified technician, as well as all lockout-tagout procedures are followed. In addition to that, we want to make sure and verify that there is no incoming power to the VFD drive and that the DC bus is fully discharged. Now we're ready to perform the high-powered circuit test. First, what I want to do is set my meter to the diode test function. Next, you want to take your red lead, put it on the DC bus positive terminal of the drive. Then, you want to take your negative lead and go from L1 to L2 to L3. Now, you want to move your red positive lead to the DC bus negative. With our black lead, we are again going to go between L1, L2, and L3. Now, we want to flip the polarity of our test leads. Our negative test lead is going to go on the DC bus positive. Then, with our red test lead, we want to go between L1, L2, and L3. Now, we want to move our negative test lead to the DC bus negative. And again, with our red test lead, we're going to go between L1, L2, and L3. Now that we've checked the input of the drive, we need to check the output of the drive. So, to begin, I'm going to take my red test lead, put it on the DC bus positive, and then my black test lead is going to go to the U, to the V, and to the W terminal. I now want to move my red test lead to the DC bus negative. And with my black test lead, I'm again going to go to U, to V, and to W. Again, we now need to flip the polarity of our test leads. So I'm going to put my black test lead on the DC bus positive. And with my red test lead, I'm going to go to U, to V, and to W. To finish up here, my black test lead is going to go on the DC bus negative. And with my red test lead, I'm going to go to U, to V, and to W. When I am performing these diode tests, I like to create a chart to input the values that are measured throughout the test. Once all of the results are gathered, you are able to determine whether or not your input and output power circuits are good, or if the VFD needs to be replaced. For drives that are good, you will measure a consistent reading of OL when your positive test lead is on the DC bus positive terminal and your negative test lead is placed on all of your input and output terminals. That said, when your positive test lead is on the DC bus negative, you should get a consistent reading of 0.299 to 0.675 when the negative test lead is placed on all input and output terminals. Now, when your negative test lead is on the DC bus positive, you should receive a consistent reading between 0.299 to 0.675 when your positive test lead is placed on all input and output terminals. Finally, when your negative test lead is on the DC bus negative, you should get a consistent reading of OL when your positive test lead is placed on all input and output terminals. These readings will verify that your VFD's input and output power circuits are good, but if your measurements are inconsistent or fall outside of these ranges, you will most likely need to have the VFD repaired or replaced. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions about this test or feel more comfortable having one of our technicians come to your facility to perform it, please feel free to contact the DCT headquarters at any time.